name is Emily. I am a 30-year-old who married my same-age colleague, Ethan. I work for a multinational company, but currently I am on maternity leave. We were thrilled to find out. I was pregnant shortly after our marriage. Ethan was longing for a child, so he was overjoyed when I broke the news. Both our families celebrated the new life growing inside me. However, cracks began to appear in our marriage with Ethan after I got pregnant. I never imagined that minor issues would gradually widen into irreparable rifts. Emily, stop lazing around and do some housework. Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you can slack off. Brainless? Don't say that. I'm feeling a bit sick. I made dinner, right? You just threw together some veggies and meat, right? That's lazy cooking. I wanted hamburgers today, didn't I? Just feeding me this trash. Ethan threw away the pot of food I made without even tasting it. He never asked for hamburgers. It was a totally unjust accusation. I'm going to the diner. You can eat the trash in the sink. Wait, don't you feel anything throwing away food someone made with love? Archinado. When I snapped back, Ethan clicked his tongue while looking at my swollen belly. Shut up. Keep nagging and I'll silence you with my fist. How can you say that? There's a baby in here. Don't even joke about that. Yelling in frustration and sadness, Ethan left the kitchen without a glance back, leaving a hurtful remark. It's not like I wanted this kid anyway. Whatever happens to it, I don't care. Your fetus is trash. Just like that garbage pot of food? That's awful. The baby did nothing wrong, but tears welled up as I looked down. But Ethan left through the front door without a care. Why did it turn out like this? Rather than being a blessing, the child became a nuisance to Ethan. Of course, the baby is not at fault. It's all Ethan's selfish whims. A child isn't a toy. You can't always get what you wish for. As I stroked my growing belly, I remembered the day I found out about this 3-month pregnancy. Ethan, I went to the OB/GYN today. It's been 3 months. Really? Good job, Emily. We've been waiting for this child. It's a boy, right? We had decided to have only one child since we both work. Ethan was strangely insistent on having a son even before he got pregnant. I want to play outside and play games with my son, so it has to be a boy. It felt like Ethan was mistaking a child for his personal possession, his personal toy. Pregnancy isn't certain. Whether it's a boy or a girl, I'll be happy as long as they're healthy. Hi, tell me the gender of the child. I only want a boy. It'll be a while before we know if it's a boy or a girl. But don't say you only want a boy. If it's a girl, I don't want it. I hate sassy, cunning little girls. Just you and my sister are enough. Boys are the way to go. Ethan has an older sister, Susan. She's a wise and kind ideal sister-in-law. Ethan feels inferior to the successful Susan. Everyone praises her, Aston appeases her. A 35-year-old spinster. If I have a son, I can brag to her. Susan is a wonderful sister-in-law. You're being awful. And you don't have children just to brag, right? Stop nagging. Emily, make sure it's a boy. If it's a girl, I won't bother with it. How can you say that? It's our child either way. It's our duty to cherish them. Children can't choose their parents, but parents can choose their children. Unwanted children are not just trash. I always thought Ethan was a strong-willed man, but his true nature showed after we got married and I became pregnant. Thinking about the future of my unborn child makes me feel gloomy. Then, a little while later, we found out it was a girl. Ethan began to despise me and our unborn daughter as if he had drawn a bad lottery ticket. Risk carrying trash in their womb. Don't come into my sight. You're an eyesore of a trash woman. Stop it, Ethan. This child isn't trash. No parent should speak like that. And who's that? I don't need the trash in your womb. I'd like to sell it on a flea market app. That's awful. You'd only selfishly love even if the child were a boy. Our daughter was growing well in my womb. As I entered the stable period of pregnancy, Ethan never longed for our daughter. It's heartbreaking that our daughter is already disliked by her father before she's even born. What should I do now? I couldn't talk to anyone but finally confided in Ethan's sister, Susan. Susan sighed, knowing Ethan's behavior. Ethan has been like this since he was a child. It turns worse when he doesn't get what he wants. I can't believe he's treating you and the baby like this, Emily. Susan, I can bear it, but it's too sad for my unborn child. Just thinking about what's going to happen makes me anxious. I'm sorry for the pain. I'm happy to have a niece. My parents feel the same. By the way, have you decided on a name? Yes, her name will be Lily. I chose it from a baby name book because it sounded cute. Lily, what a nice name. If she's Emily's daughter, she's bound to be adorable. I can't wait to meet my niece. Thank you, Susan. It makes me happy to hear you say that. I hope Lily grows up to be smart and kind, just like you. Grim, you're too kind. And don't worry, Ethan will change once Lily is born. He can't resist a cute daughter. I hope so. Ethan will change once he actually sees the baby, right? Susan's encouragement gave me a glimmer of hope. Perhaps Ethan's heart will change once Lily is born. But my hope crumbled when Ethan dropped a bombshell. Emily, go back to work soon after the baby is born. I quit my job. Wait, you're quitting your job right before a child is born. Why didn't you discuss this with me? I don't need to consult you. We'll live off your savings from now on. Don't joke. That money is for Lily's education. How can you quit your job with a wife in her final month of pregnancy? Shut up. It's my life. I can do what I want. Don't walk around with that big belly. It's annoying. As Lily's birth approached, Ethan and I only fought. He wouldn't tell me, Susan, or even his parents why he quit his job. So where does Ethan go every day? He says he's looking for a job, but he's not wearing a suit. Ethan started spending less time at home. Being far from my parents, I was looked after by Susan and my in-laws until Lily was born. Lily was a healthy baby girl. My in-laws were thrilled with their first grandchild. Susan also cared for me after giving birth. I'm glad both mother and child are healthy. You did great, Emily. Lily is really cute. Thank you, Susan. I'm so grateful to your parents. My parents are over the moon with Lily. But I'm so sorry about Ethan. I feel ashamed as a sister for him abandoning you during your first birth. Ultimately, Ethan never visited his daughter at the maternity clinic. So when I returned home with Lily, we were just in his way. Hey, shut that braid up. Her crying is annoying. Babies cry. It's normal for them to cry at night. There, Lily. Take her outside if she's disturbing. I'm going to sleep. If she cries again, you'll regret it. Ethan became furious whenever he heard Lily crying. He didn't help with childcare work or housework, leaving everything to me. I was exhausted. Lily's 1-month checkup is coming up. I'll do my best for you, Lily. Life was tough, but at the 1-month checkup, Lily was declared healthy. Once relieved, I returned home, but the front door wouldn't open no matter how much I tried the key. As I puzzled, Ethan's mocking laughter came from inside the house. I changed the locks because of the baby's night cries. Sleep outside with the kid? You're kidding, right? You'd go this far? You and the brat are just like trash. Become homeless for all I care. After enduring so much from pregnancy to now, my anger finally exploded. All right, don't complain wherever we sleep. Holding back my urge to yell, I replied in a deliberately calm and bright tone, as if speaking to someone behind me. Susan, did you hear? Ethan told me and Lily to go be homeless and sleep outside. When I mentioned his sister's name, Ethan's voice from behind the door sounded clearly panicked. Wait, Susan's there with you? Yeah, Ethan hasn't helped at all with the baby, so I was exhausted. Susan kindly stayed with me. Susan, who had been quietly observing, stepped back and furiously pounded on the door. Susan was usually gentle, but now she seemed even angrier than me. Get out, Ethan. Or actually, you're the one who needs to leave, you jerk. Open the door right now and apologize to Emily and Lily. Ethan seemed cowed by her fury, but stubbornly refused to open the door. Soon, a young woman's sweet voice could be heard from inside. What's up, Ethan? It's noisy outside. I woke up because of the noise. I recognized the woman's voice. Katie, she was the new girl who joined the company right before I went on maternity leave. It's clear now. You were cheating on me while I was pregnant. Ethan, how low can you go? Bringing another woman home while Emily is out for Lily's checkup. As Susan and I confronted him at the door, Ethan, perhaps defiant, laughed triumphantly. Shut up with your yapping. Katie is cute and comes from a wealthy family. I'm divorcing Emily and marrying Katie. Right, Katie? Yes. Ethan said he loves Katie the most and that I'll have a boy. Did you hear that? I'm going to remarry Katie and build a happy family. Her family is rich. Emily, I'll graciously give you alimony and child support. Ethan, my dad thinks you are a bachelor, so I want to wear a wedding dress soon. Susan and I fell silent in the face of Ethan and Katie's delusional future. Our accumulated anger turned to disbelief, and even yelling seemed pointless. If you've got this far, so be it. I'll agree to the divorce. Of course, I'll demand alimony from Ethan and Katie. Ethan, just so you know, Mom and Dad are furious with your behavior. They'll disown you when they find out about this. Susan, I don't care if Dad and Mom disown me. Just get lost. This with Emily and her daughter. Don't regret it. Let's go, Emily. Stay at my place. Lily, let's go to your aunt's house. Thank you, Sim. Oh, Ethan, don't complain about the consequences. After warning Ethan, I took Lily and went to stay at Susan's place. Susan apologized as she watched Lily sleeping. I'm so sorry, Emily. This is not what I wanted. Our parents are so ashamed. Please don't apologize. I actually feel relieved. It's not your fault or your parents'. It wasn't Susan's or her parents' fault. Ethan was to blame. I'll contact my family too. Sorry for the trouble, Susan. Nonsense. It's going to be tough, so stay with us. I'd be happy to have you and Lily. Some test easy today. Thank you so much, Susan. I'll probably be busy tomorrow. The next day, while putting Lily to sleep at Susan's, Ethan called. Just as expected, he's panicking. I let the phone ring without answering, and it kept ringing incessantly. He seemed really panicked. After ignoring him for a while, I decided to take the call. What do you want? Don't call, Lily might wake up. Brexing a banality. You set me and Katie up. You secretly did an affair investigation and snitched to Katie's parents. Wait, what? Normally, you keep affair investigations secret. But I bet Katie's parents were shocked to discover their daughter was involved with a married man. You shouldn't have interfered. Because of you, Katie's parents disowned her. Her dad came yelling at me yesterday. Oh dear, that's tough. You're planning to ingratiate yourself with Katie's wealthy family for an easy life. Must be tough to be disliked by her father. So it's all your fault for telling Katie's parents? Now she's penniless and disowned. I can't use her family's money. Well, if you're dating a man with a pregnant wife, any parent would be angry. If you love Katie the most, why don't you remarry her? Even if you're both penniless? Don't joke. I was supposed to live luxuriously with Katie's family wealth. I'll be your prole. You ruined my happiness. I don't care about that. As for the divorce, I'll communicate through a lawyer. I'll demand alimony for your affair and abandoning the family. When I mentioned the estimated total of alimony and child support, Ethan begged me desperately. Emily, I'll break up with Katie. Let's start over as a couple, live happily together. Actually, happily together? Which face of yours is saying that? There's no way I'm getting back with you. Lily and I will live our lives. You will be happy with your beloved Katie. Please forgive me. Katie is so dumb. She even got fired. I can't be with her, help me. Bye. Extra questioning Ethan's excuses. I hung up. Susan, who had been watching, sighed deeply. Emily, stay here until the divorce is finalized and things settle down. Dad and Mom are disowning Ethan. I'm thinking of cutting ties too. Susan, thank you for introducing me to the investigation agency and letting us stay at your place. My parents are a bit relieved too. I'm glad I had a friend at the investigation agency. Emily, if Ethan comes back begging for reconciliation, I'll send him away. Thank you for everything, really. I owe you so much, Susan. I continued preparing for the divorce with my lawyer. Susan and my in-laws helped with taking care of Lily. Ethan came around a few times, but Susan turned him away. We have evidence of Ethan's affair with Katie, his malicious abandonment, and unilateral neglect of family life. The investigation agency friend was appalled. This means a significant amount of alimony for the wife. It's a wise decision to divorce Ethan for Lily's sake. Katie's parents promised to make their daughter pay for her sins. She'll have to pay the alimony herself. Ethan sought help from her parents, but they refused. Dad and Mom can't forgive him this time. I'll demand child support from Ethan, and he'll have to pay it himself. After the lawyer intervened, the divorce went through without a hitch. There was a lot of fuss over property division, but Ethan ended up paying a large amount in alimony due to his past actions. Katie was disowned and kicked out by her parents, so we demanded appropriate alimony from her too. She left Ethan for another man, it seems. I wonder how she'll pay. Leaving Ethan is the right choice, though. Katie was actually two-timing Ethan. It was just a fling for her, and she never intended to marry him. I hate to say it, but she seems quite cunning. At least smarter than Ethan. Played by a 23-year-old girl and then dumped. Ethan really is beyond help. But be careful, Emily. Ethan can be surprisingly vindictive. He may do something to you and Lily out of spite. He keeps contacting me for reconciliation even after the divorce. Seems like he's really struggling financially. He's been asking me for money too. I blocked his calls and messages. Such a hassle. As Susan said, Ethan was a foolish yet vengeful man. Despite ignoring the demands for alimony and child support, he kept begging for reconciliation. Even Katie took out loans to pay her alimony, but Ethan wants to reconcile because he can't. He's a useless man without any pride. As much as I hate to speak ill of him since he's Lily's biological father, Ethan's pathetic behavior was persistent and increasingly aggressive. I'm the victim here, Emily. You ruined my life. You should be paying me alimony. Be prepared for my revenge. Ethan was screaming resentfully in front of Susan's house. It was a nuisance to the neighbors, so Susan, her parents, and I discussed how to handle it. I'm worried about Lily. He seems capable of putting her in danger. We should be cautious when going out. It's unbelievable he's getting upset without paying alimony. The thought of being subjected to Ethan's irrational resentment was frightening. Susan's parents came up with safety measures for Lily and me. After making these plans, I went shopping nearby with Lily, covering for Susan, who was working from home. Lily, let's head back quickly after shopping. There might be scary people. After a quick shopping trip, as I was pushing Lily's stroller back home, a disheveled man suddenly appeared. If you care about this brat's life, forget all the money you owe me. Ethan, Preston's and it's scary. Someone help? My daughter is being kidnapped by a suspicious person. If you reconcile and work for me, I'll return the kid. Each Persax and Securia, and obey. Lily, frightened by Ethan's loud screaming, started to cry. See, such a brat can be easily dealt with. Obey my orders. Withdraw the divorce. Oh wait. Let's let Lily go. You're not a husband or a father, just trash. Ethan seemed desperate as I refused to comply. Passersby, sensing something was wrong, discussed whether to call the police. The police will see I'm not at fault. I'll tell them how my wife ruined my life for no reason. You're so delusional. Do you really think that excuse will work? This is your last chance. Give Lily back. Shut up. I'll take this brat and use her as a hostage. Ethan tried to flee, holding Lily roughly, but his efforts were futile. This officer, over here. My ex-husband is trying to forcibly take my daughter. Several police officers intervened, and Ethan was arrested for attempted kidnapping. Lily wasn't hurt, and she stopped crying when I held her. Thank you. My ex-husband has been vengefully harassing us. Ex-Templars, we're still husband and wife. That was just a marital spat. This is overblown. When will you stop calling us husband and wife? It's over. The police are aware of that. Did you set me up with the police? Don't say such horrible things. Your parents advised talking to the police because of the danger. They were concerned for me and Lily. How low can you be? I'm not at fault. I just came to see my daughter. Witnesses to Ethan's excuses shook their heads in denial. The police grimaced at his transparent lies. Great father, using his daughter as a shield. And even his excuses are pathetic. Shut up. Being disowned and dumped by Kitty, it's all your fault. Even involving the police. Ethan, displaying an incredibly disgraceful behavior, was unflinchingly detained and taken away by the police. Even in the patrol car, Ethan continued to shout, causing the police a great deal of trouble. I'm relieved Lily doesn't understand yet. With his attitude, he's causing trouble for the police too. It was good we consulted them. Susan rushed over, and we were briefly interviewed by the police, but it ended quick. Susan was relieved Lily was safe. Lily, I'm so glad you're okay. Since I won't forgive him this time. I'm cutting all ties. He's no longer my brother. I hope the police give him a hard time. I also let my guard down, thinking we'd be safe because it's our neighborhood. Thankfully, the police were keeping watch, so everything turned out okay. Ethan's parents must be shocked their disowned son was now in police custody. In the police station, Ethan keeps insisting he's not at fault, despite the evidence. Everything Ethan has done is recorded. It's clear he's at fault for the divorce. He always had a strong sense of victimhood. I remember Ethan complaining before that his parents favored Susan. Is that true? Our parents never played favorites. Ethan just always wanted to be special and hated losing, but never put in the effort. I see. He was a bit childish at work too. I thought it was charming at first, but he started to pretend to be more mature, hoping a gentle person like Susan would change him, but his nature didn't change. He was oddly fixated on having a son to brag about and play with. Now I really wiki back successful. Now I realize he had no friends. With his personality, he wasn't the type to play well with others. While chatting and comforting Lily, we got a call from the police. They issued a restraining order against Ethan for Lily and me. Violating a restraining order is a clear crime. Ethan seems to have learned his lesson. He still won't pay alimony or child support, though. He should take responsibility for his actions. If he doesn't pay, it'll be subject to enforcement, right? Yes. He'll likely be targeted for enforcement soon. After my maternity leave, I returned to my job at the multinational company. I'm happy I can still be close with Susan after the divorce. Ash, me too. I'm relieved we can talk like before. My parents are grateful too. Having you look after Lily is a big help. It lets me work with peace of mind. To give me a break, our parents suggested Susan and I grabbed coffee together. Lily is adored by my in-laws. As we were chatting about work and other updates, a familiar female voice approached us. It's Emily, right? Percent. Long time no see. How have you been? And with to my surprise, there was Katie, Ethan's former affair partner, holding hands with another man. Bitch, the nerve of her to casually greet me. Hello. Thanks for everything back then. After that, I did some reflecting. I've been working and paying back the money. I'm dating this guy I met at work now. Really? It was hard to keep track of how many boyfriends you've had. As Katie and her current boyfriend were leaving, she suddenly added, "Oh yeah, about Ethan. I was walking in the night streets for work, and he started following me around. Super clingy and creepy, so I called the cops. Then Katie and her flashy boyfriend happily left. Susan and I exchanged a look and chuckled wryly. A 23-year-old former mistress creeped out and called the cops on him. I can't forgive him, but Katie kind of delivered the final blow to Ethan, getting the police involved again. While Ethan, who hasn't paid alimony or child support, became a target for enforcement. He's struggling while juggling multiple part-time jobs to make the payments. Rumor has it that Ethan caused a scene at the place where Katie works. Katie ended up breaking up with her boyfriend after he found out about her involvement with Ethan. Ethan's causing police trouble for the third time, and Katie's broken up but pregnant. Ethan might be hopeless, but Katie will probably survive cunningly. Ethan lost his part-time jobs and became even more destitute. I plan to relentlessly pressure him to pay the alimony he owes, as it's entirely his own doing.